On question 9, we want to simplify the radicals completely. I see that it's a square root of 128, and so for the number, what we need to do, since 128 is not a perfect square, is we need to create a list of some perfect square numbers. So 1 squared is 1, 2 to the second is 4, 3 squared is 9, 4 squared 16, 5 squared 25, 6 squared 36, 7 squared 49, 8 squared 64. So let's see, out of these values that are in our list, what's going to divide evenly into the 128. And so as I divide by these numbers, I notice that 64 divides into it 2 times. So you create a list of perfect squares, use numbers from that list to divide into it, and if it goes into it evenly, that's what you want to use. So the next step is we rewrite the radical, and we're going to, and one thing I also want to mention is that 16 also goes into the 128, but it goes into it 8 times, and 8 itself can be broken down further, so that's why we don't use 16. You got to go with the highest number in the list. So let's rewrite the radical, and we break it down. We put the perfect square number first, is 64 times, and then it went into it 2 times, 64 times 2. And then you have your variables at the end. Now with the values, the numbers, we can split that product apart. That's the square root of 64 times the square root of everything else. The square root of 64 is a perfect square. It's equal to 8, so we rewrite that as 8 times the square root of everything else. Now let's deal with the exponents of the variables. So remember that a square root is an index of 2. So with the variables, what we're supposed to do is we're supposed to divide them by the root number, see how many come out, see how many are left inside. So I'm going to set it up. I have the 8, I have the radical, and go ahead and put the 2 in there. Let's do the m. So 2 goes into 3 one time with 1 remaining inside. Now let's do the n. 2 goes into 4 2 times evenly, none remaining inside. So if you put that together, it's 8mn squared, square root of 2m, and that's the final answer that you get for that problem.